Hello my dear students, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we are going to learn the class 10 English chapter The Girl Who Was Annie Frank, and we are going to see part 2 of this chapter. Part 1 of the chapter explanation is already uploaded in my channel and the video link will be shared in the description box for your convenience. So quickly, let us go with the part 2 of this chapter. But before that, students, if you are viewing my video for the first time, do subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get the notifications of all the upcoming videos. Do watch the video till end, and if you like it, do hit the like button and do not forget to share with your friends. So let us continue with the next part of the chapter. Till the last point, we had seen how Annie and her sister Margot had died in the concentration camp, and the diary which she used to write was handed over to her father Otto Frank. So let's continue now. Mission in life. A week after the Frank family had been arrested, Mape had boldly returned to the annex. A heap of papers lay on the floor. Mape recognized Anne's handwriting and decided to keep the diary but not to read it. Had she read it, she would have found detailed information on the help she and other people had given the Frank family at the risk of their own lives, and she might well have decided to destroy the diary for reasons of safety. So here, students, we come to know that the mission of life, what it was of Anne Frank's to publish a diary. Here, this is that after a week after the Frank family had been arrested from the annex and they had been taken to concentration camps, after a duration of 1 week, Meep, who was the typist there and who was to work in Otto Frank's company or in the firm, she boldly returned to that annex where they lived, and she found that there were heaps of paper which were lying on the floor, many papers which were lying on the floor, and she recognized that these are the handwriting of Annie, and she has written the diary. So she's decided to, let me say, keep it safe. Whatever diary she has written, whatever her writings are, let me keep it safe. But she did not read any of it because it was her personal diary. So this, she took it and she kept it safely. And if she would have read that papers, what that Annie had written, she would have got to know all the information about herself and other people who had helped Frank's family to hide themselves there, and how they helped them in many ways. And she might found herself, her life at the risk, and she would have just destroyed all the paper and the diary for the reason of safety for us. But unfortunately, or fortunately, you can say, she did not read anything and she just preserved it safely. Then it took Otto Frank many weeks to finish reading what his dead child had written. Then, obviously, when Otto Frank came back, when he returned, when he was saved, with this map, she returned all the belongings of Annie Frank, that is, the papers, the diaries which she had got, which she had preserved till now without reading it. She handed over to her father, Otto Frank. Now, this Otto Frank, when he started reading it, what the dead child of his has written, he took many days to read it, many weeks to read it. And he used to break down, means he started crying after every few pages. Of course, he was missing his child who had written so many things. And as his old mother was still alive, she had emigrated to Switzerland where other near relatives lived. And this old Otto Frank's old mother was still alive, and she had been moved to Switzerland where other relatives lived, and she was there. So she started copying the manuscript of her, whatever Annie had written. She started all assembling in one place, and some passages which they felt was too intimate, were too delicate to be given or shown or published, or to be highlighted to other people, or which might hurt other people's feeling, were left out. They did not write those things. Then the idea of publishing the diary, even that time, did not come in Otto Frank's mind. He just gave one typed copy to a close friend, and who lent this copy to a professor of modern history. And then, much to Otto Frank's surprise, the professor devoted an article to it in a Dutch newspaper. Okay, there was no intention, or they had not thought of publishing it. Just they had given a copy of it to a professor, that to by Otto Frank's friend. He handed over to his friend, and his friend went and gave it to a professor of modern history, and he made this article to be published in that newspaper. And then after that, his friend gave an idea and urged Otto Frank. He started pleading him to publish Anne's diary, because even she wished that she wanted to publish her diary, and she had written in one such place in her diary that I want to publish a book entitled, well, like with the name The Annex After the War. Then she says that my diary can serve this purpose, like whatever content you want for the book or the diary to be published. I think my diary or my this information can give and fulfill that purpose. And then when Anna's father finally he agreed for publication, and they went to the manuscript, they went to the publishers, many publishers, but the manuscript what they had written was refused by two well-known Dutch publishers. They refused it, did not accept it to publish it. But last year, third one decided to publish it, and more than 150,000 copies of the Dutch edition were sold there. That was the starting now, and other editions follow. 250,000 sold in Britain, and in Japan for 435,000, and in United States, like it just went on increasing. And Otto Frank, like the father of Anne Frank, he started receiving hundreds of letters in return in reply to that. And one from Italy was addressed to Otto Frank, saying that, Otto Frank, father of Anne Frank, Amsterdam. A few people doubted the authenticity of the diary. Most wrote to express their admiration and grief. Girls of Annie's age poured out their troubles. "Oh, Mr. Frank," wrote one girl, "she's so much like me that sometimes I do not know where myself begins and Annie Frank ends." So here he got many of such letters, who wrote, who expressed the griefs, their emotions, and they was very at the side of Otto Frank now. And one girl also wrote that, even I just don't know how I have to start my life, and here Annie Frank's life has been ended. So like this, numerous people, they wrote many letters, thanksgiving and consoling letters, and then the small presents were also sent along with the letters and all. So like this, there were many things. In Japanese, girls used to send some dolls for her in the remembrance of Annie. And on Annie's birthday and Margot's birthday, the flowers arrived in anonymously, means without any with unknown names. They chose to come and it used to arrive. Now so many letters poured out in Otto Frank's house. Like he started getting so many letters from throughout the world in many countries that he was forced to retire from his business. He left his business and he started working for his daughter's diary, and that became his passion, and that was the mission of his life now. He started devoting his life for the purpose of humanity, and he felt that he has to work for it, and even Annie would be very happy personally if he does this kind of work. So from that day onwards, he started writing and replying to each and every letters which he used to get personally, and every day new ones sadly reminded him of the losses he had suffered. It reminded him of Annie, whom he had lost now. But he felt that there was much more in the life. And one such letter which was received by him, it was from headmistress of one of the England's largest school, and he wrote to him that it must be a source of deep joy to you in all your sorrow to know that Annie's brief life is, in the deepest sense, only just the beginning. Means whatever life, small life Annie has lived and she's gone, that is just the beginning for you now. Like he had received many letters of condolencing also. Now, the most remarkable response came from Germany when the book's first printing of 4,500 copies came out in Germany in 1950. Now, even in Germany, the book started being published and sold out, and here many booksellers were afraid to put it in their windows. Means they were afraid to sell it because it was against Germany's. It was the leader of Germany, that is Hitler, who had done all these things. So they were afraid where how do I sell in my window or in my shop? Then there was mass appeal. When the play opened in the seven German cities simultaneously, no one knew how the audience would react. And this play was converted into a drama and a movie too. And it was played in many of the German cities, and they did not know what would be the result of it, how would the audience react. And there were no Nazis seen on the stage, but the ominous presence made itself felt every minute. They were not highlighted like he is or she is a Nazi person there, but it was felt by the people due to the act, due to the play they were doing that. And finally, at the end, they were able to hear the jackboots, the boots which the Nazis were wearing, and they were getting upstairs to raid the hide place to arrest the people from over there. So that kind of noises were heard in the drama, in the play. And at the end, only Anna's father was left out on the stage, the one who was acting as Annie's father. And he was a lonely old woman there. He told how he received news that his wife and daughters had died. And picking up and he picked up Annie's slim diary from there, and then he turned back the pages, and uh, he found that her young, confident voice was heard saying, in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. So this was the spirit, or this was the feeling which was coming from inside to Frank, and he believed that these words are said by Annie Frank. That still believes that there are really good people at heart. That because of one, that doesn't mean that everyone is bad or everyone is in a similar manner. Okay, so these were the things. The play also was touched, and people used to feel the kind of trouble they had undergone. Now, packed audience received Annie Frank's tragedy in silence, heavy with remorse, and people were too like they were very emotional. They were just looking everything in complete silence with heavy with the remorse, with the very high and heavy hearts. And then even the people did not even go out during the interval. They sat there in the seats itself, as if they were afraid to go out, or they were ashamed to go out. And one of the producers explained that Annie Frank has succeeded because it enables the audience to come to grips with history. Like they are able to attach, they are able to connect the people with the history personally and without any denunciation. Means they're able to connect it without any oppose. They are not against it, they're accepting. They are able to connect it. Yes, this is the fact which has happened with them, and we watch it as an indictment in the most humble, pitiful terms. And they feel that this traces of the inhuman things which has been left out has to be completely been eradicated, and it should be seen in a humble manner, for the people who have lost their life. And no one accuses us Germans, we accuse ourselves, and they feel that we are belonging to that particular country or city from where the people had been treated very badly, so they accuse ourselves. Nobody is going to blame us, but we blame ourselves. So this kind of feeling is just created by the play, by the writings, by the works of Anne Frank. Then for years, Germany's post-war administrators toiled to make feel the senseless and the criminal nature of Nazi regime. Like people were just working hard to make the people that this was just in the past, and the people are not in the same way today. Then, on the whole, they failed. The diary of Anne Frank succeeded. So, this kind of feeling which they wanted to bring in the life of the people, in the hearts of the people, that not all the people are in a similar manner as the Nazi regime were, but they were not able to bring that kind of feeling or that acceptance. They did not get, but they failed, and this diary of Anne Frank succeeded in it. It brought leading actors received dozens of letters. I was a good Nazi, and like this, many typical letters and comments started coming to them, and they were also being accepted, and all the things which were being done in the past were just remembered and not uh, seen with that particular eye anymore. Now, German Soul's children sent Otto Frank letters signed by entire class telling him that Annie's diary had opened their eyes of viciousness of racial persecution. Like even the students, whatever they learned, whatever they came to know from the Anne's diaries, started writing letters to the father of Annie. And the people of Berlin had chosen her name to symbolize the spirit of racial and social tolerance. Like on behalf of her, on by the name of Annie Frank, many institutions were opened and many organizations started working. Many organizations were set up just on behalf of the name of Annie Frank, and they started working just to remember her and to honor her. So, like this, there were many organizations that started collecting money for Annie Frank forest to be planted in Israel. So, even the forest was named after her. So, like this, there were many things which were done after her. Then, in March 1957, a Hamburg student suggested that flowers should be laid on mass graves in Bergen-Belsen, where Annie Frank had found her last resting place. And there, at last, 2,000 young people were eagerly answering this appeal. And then hundreds of people, they came in the bikes, crossing 122 kilometers in the lashing rain. They just stood in front of mass graves where a 17-year-old school girl, she expressed that Annie Frank was younger than we are. When her life was horribly ended, she had to die because others had decided to destroy her race. Never again among our people much must such a diseased and inhuman hatred rise. So they remember her. They went to the grave of Margot and Annie Frank, and they laid thousands of flowers in the remembrance, and expressed that there should be no more horrible situation being faced by any of the people in the world again. And this is so unhuman. So all those things were done, and then Annie's brief life is indeed only a beginning. She carries the message of courage and tolerance all over the world. She lives even after the death. So beautifully she has expressed her feelings in the diary, and the fact which she has revealed there in the diary is being known to the world, and now it has become a message of courage and tolerance throughout the world, and she even lives in everyone's heart even after her death. So this is how her diary, which became very famous, which was published by one of the publishers and became so famous, it was converted into many dramas and movies. So here we end with the story, with the lesson of the girl who was Annie Frank and her diary. I hope you all have understood the chapter. If you found this video as interesting and informative, do hit the like button and share with your friends. We'll be back soon with more such videos. Thank you.